Well, 2 weeks ago, NFL Network reporter Mike Garafolo appeared on this show and said he believed this season was the end of the line for Bill Belichick in New England. Tuesday reports out of Boston echoed those statements. Let's see how Bill's handling those reports.
Bill, I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking, obviously, for yourself and your understanding, do you have an understanding that Robert will not ask you to be back next year?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for Kansas City. That's what I'm doing.
Do you want to keep coaching? Is that something you want to continue?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for Kansas City.
Bill, while understanding that you're getting ready for Kansas City, have you and Robert discussed your future beyond the season?
Getting ready for Kansas City.
And that's just a preview of our top 10 Bill Belichick sound bites later on this edition of SportsCenter. Here's Luke Willson, our pal from LaSalle, to talk about this Belichick situation. Luke, the Patriots refuted those reports that a decision's already been made on Belichick's future. Adam Schefter says that the two sides are going to sit down at the end of the season and talk about their future. But if Belichick is fired by Robert Kraft, is it an indictment on Bill, the general manager, or an indictment on Bill Belichick, the head coach?
I honestly believe neither, Jay. I think it's an indictment on Bill Belichick, the friend. And what I mean by that is if you really look at this team, which I have because I'm still scratching my head on how they're this bad, the defense is elite. I'm going to say that right now. This defense is an elite unit, and they're playing without who they thought would be their best player due to injury in Matt Judon. The problem lies solely with the offense, and the offense has looked terrible. I mean, it's big bad. They do nothing well. They don't throw the ball well. They turn the ball over. They don't run the ball efficiently. And why I say the friend is because since the former offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels has left, he's brought in all his old pals, and they've ran this offense into the ground. Last season, it was Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. This year, it's Bill O'Brien. It's looked terrible. 2 straight years of a brutal offense. Even if this offense could be mediocre, this team would be solid. They'd be okay. Are they a Super Bowl team right now? No, that's not what I'm saying. But they wouldn't be the laughingstock of the NFL. So when you ask me what the problem is right now, the problem is that he's brought his old pals back who are doing a terrible job.
That's the thing. You can't be too loyal to your friends. I've learned that over the years, Luke. Let's talk about let's talk about Bill's legacy. One winning season in 5 years with the Browns. We can kind of toss that aside because after that, it was just nothing but wins with the Patriots. Builds the dynasty with Tom Brady, one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. But then Tom Brady leaves to Tampa and wins a Super Bowl without him. And since then, the Patriots have essentially floundered without Brady. Do you think of Bill Belichick's accomplishments differently now? Because at one time, there was just no doubt that he was considered the greatest head coach in NFL history. Do you think of him differently now post-Brady?
I think the conversation is a little more open to interpretation. I still definitely think he's in that conversation. I don't think, people can just say it's only Tom Brady, especially those early years. I think of Teddy Bruschi. I think of Willie McGinnis. Those guys were, they're tremendous, tremendous players. And all of those teams were very, very good and talented. I lost the Super Bowl to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And one of the things that was absurd was prepping for that game, Jay. It was the only team in my NFL career where they could keep their exact same personnel on the field and have a 3-4 defense or a 4-3 defense. We thought they might even switch from quarter to quarter, which I know doesn't sound that complex, but it really is. And we had to learn all sorts of different run game rules, especially for each different defense. Nobody does that type of stuff. So Bill Belichick can really mastermind a defense. I think that what the argument of his legacy is how much did Tom Brady make up for the offense? You see it, the post-Tom Brady, New England Patriots, like we just talked about, and offensively they look terrible. To me, I think that he really covered for a lot of their inept ideas offensively because he was so talented, he was so driven, and he was such a leader that he could kind of get things done himself. Where that's, I think, where the debate comes in. But as a coach overall, he's still right there at 1A, 1B, as the greatest coach of all time.
I couldn't agree more with you, buddy. Luke will be back later in the show. We're going to talk about the Bills' playoff push, Luke's favorite subject, the Mafia. We're going to find out Luke's opinion on whether the Bills can maybe still win the AFC East. And Luke, you're going to love this. We will indeed have the best Bill Belichick sound bites later in the top 10. That's later in the show.